Hi guys, and welcome to the next video in my series on filming puppets. I'm hoping that the information that I've given you up to now has been useful, and if there's anything that you think that I've missed, please feel free to leave comments below and I'll try and address that as best I can. Obviously I'm coming from the situation of somebody working and being in the UK, and if you're in a country where things differ, especially with any rules and regulations, please feel free to comment so that it helps other people when they're looking at this. So now today we're going to look at the shoot. So the shoot is obviously the day when you're out and about and you're actually filming what it is that you want to film. what you want to film, sorry. So the first thing is work out a shot list and stick to it, certainly as best you can. Now this works especially if you're filming multiple scenes or multiple locations or multiple scenes in multiple locations. You want to try and make sure, especially if you're working with more than just yourself, that you have a note of what you want to achieve and that you do it in the best way to make the most use of the people that you have. There's nothing worse than having lots of people stood around twiddling thumbs, especially if you're working with a puppet team that involves teenagers. Idle hands make work for the devil, or something like that. So you'll find teenagers especially will get restless, and if you're working with even younger puppeteers, good luck with that. If they're stood around for any length of time, they're going to get bored. But even adults, if they're stood around for any length of time, can get bored. So try and work it in such a way that everybody's doing something at some point, or everybody is doing things on a regular enough basis that not one set of people are stood around for 3 hours. So if you've got a shot list, then when it comes to the day, if you've got that already written down, then you don't have to think about it. You can just go, right, well, this is what I've planned, these are the things I'm doing, this is the order I'm going in, let's go for it. Otherwise what will happen is you'll get to a situation where you'll get flummoxed, you'll get sidetracked, you'll get bullied into doing things because people want to get on and do that thing, or worst of all, you'll get back and realise you've missed 3 key scenes that you wanted to do, and it's in a location where trying to go back to is a nightmare, especially if you've sought permission to go somewhere specifically. So have a shot list, because it does take the hassle out of doing things. Second thing, do more takes than you think you need. Now it might be that you film it and you go, boom, job done, that was absolutely awesome, puppeteers were great, everything worked fine, the sound was great, absolutely fine. Do it again. Maybe do it 2 more times. If you do it more than once, then there's less chance of anything being an issue. It's amazing how many times people will do one shot and they'll go, that looks great, and they'll go back, look at it on the computer and go, actually that was rubbish. That, you know, Joe Bloggs in the background was looking in the wrong direction, or that puppet was flipping his lid, or he didn't come in on the right cue, or whatever, or I missed that, or, you know, the arm rods were chinking and we missed out on that. Oh, there was a plane going overhead, I didn't quite realise that, or I didn't realise it was going to be as loud on the sound as it was. So there might be issues that you don't know, so do it 2 or 3 times if you can do, you know, especially if they're short scenes, which they should be. You know, if you look at any films, you know, very rarely will there be a 20-minute section of anything, unless it's one of those films that's kind of your running gun camera that's designed in that way. But most films, you know, they'll have a scene that lasts a couple of minutes and then they'll cut to another scene, and even within a scene they'll shoot from different angles. So, you know, again, make sure you take as many shots as you think you need. Okay, always review the footage if you can do, the audio especially. So you'll find, like I said, that there are situations where you'll hear a noise in the background and you won't think that it's an issue, but it's amazing how much more it's picked up on the microphones. And you'll find that if it's over the dialogue of whoever's talking, that trying to get rid of that is difficult. So try and, if you can, always review the footage. And this is where taking multiple takes comes in, because if you can't review the footage, or you review it and you miss it, at least you've got a couple of different copies. And again, this is very important if you're in a situation where you've gone somewhere specific that's difficult to get back to because people aren't available, or the location isn't available, or the permission isn't there anymore, or anything like that. Another thing is B-roll. B-roll is a term for those things that aren't key to the main action, but can add something to it, or can just be something else to look at whilst something's going on. Take, for example, you might have someone sitting at a desk writing a speech, and oh, they decide they don't like it, they're going to throw it up and chuck it in the bin. Now you might have some B-roll, which is basically you filming somebody throw the bit of paper landing in the bin. That's your B-roll. It might be that somebody is talking in an old majestic building, and whilst they're talking, you might then cut away to a shot of a stained glass window, or whatever it happens to be, something that kind of adds to things, and also means that you're not always constantly looking at the same actors. So B-roll can be very good. You don't have to necessarily do it at the same time, but obviously if it's on the location that you can't get back to, then you will have to consider doing your B-roll as well. And again, once you've done your location and you've finished and you're ready to go home, always say thank you to whoever has lent you the location or who has helped out or whatever it happens to be, because if you say thank you, people will always be happy to help you again. So that's the shoot. We'll be moving on to post-production next, so look out for that one.